Hvitserk, the fire that didn't fade. When the northern wind carried snow across the fjords, another son of Ragnar Lothbrok came into the world. Not as wild as Ivar, not as proud as Bjorn, and not as calm as Ubbe. His name was Hvitserk. From childhood, he was a shadow of his brothers, and in that shadow he learned to survive. Childhood among gods and swords. Hvitserk grew up in Kattegat, listening to tales of his father's exploits. Ragnar was not just a father, he was a god in human form. But Hvitserk saw that god fall. After Ragnar's death, Hvitserk, along with his brothers, vowed revenge. He didn't know then that the real battle was not for his father, but for his soul. The great army. Hvitserk became part of the great heathen army, assembled by Ragnar's sons to avenge King Alla. Side by side with Ivar, Ubbe, and Sigurd, he burned Anglo-Saxon villages, raising his sword against those who had humiliated their father's honor. In the battle for Northumbria, he fought with fury, but he lacked the darkness in his heart that Ivar possessed. He killed, but he doubted. He participated, but he didn't lead. Hvitserk was a part of the wave, but not its crest. Brotherhood that crumbles. Over time, the brothers separated. Ivar wanted subjugation, Ubbe wanted peace, and Hvitserk was stuck between them. His loyalty swayed like an oar in a storm. He followed Ivar because he had power, but also felt fear because Ivar knew no mercy. During the campaign to York, Hvitserk proved his loyalty. He was among those who became part of the trap against the Saxons, orchestrating a fake escape and luring the enemy into an ambush that ended in a bloody massacre. Betrayal, guilt, and flames. But the rift between the brothers deepened. Ivar killed Sigurd, Ubbe left the army, and Hvitserk remained, not out of devotion, but out of fear. While others fought for Kattegat, he watched as his brother turned the settlement into a tyranny. When Kattegat burned, so did Hvitserk's heart. He began to lose his mind. Alcohol became his medicine. He saw visions, heard voices. He started confusing dreams with reality. And that's when the greatest fall occurred. Hvitserk burned a woman he thought was Ivar. It was Thora, a kind, gentle girl he might have loved. His mind couldn't bear it. And on Thora's ashes, he burned himself too. Not in body, but in soul. In chains. Ivar, instead of execution, let him live. This was a worse punishment. Hvitserk became a shadow, dirty, dressed in rags with empty eyes. His love, honor, and faith were dead. But not all was lost. When a god falls, after Ivar's fall, when the brothers met again, Hvitserk finally changed his path. He went with Ubbe to seek new lands. And there, at the edge of the world, he first found peace. Not in the sword, but in silence. Ubbe saw in him not a traitor, not a madman, but a brother. And together they found a new land, peaceful, fertile, where there were no gods and no kings, only a new life. The end of Hvitserk. When all wars were behind him, and his brothers were no longer by his side, Hvitserk accepted baptism. Thus, the former Viking, who grew up with a sword, laid down his sword and became a monk in Wessex. He was baptized as Athelstan, in honor of one whom his father also respected. And it was there, in the monastery, already gray-haired and weary, that he died in his sleep. Without blood, without fire, without gods. Only silence, wind, and peace.